Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video. This is BT Plays here, and today we are on the Crew 2 to test out the Ferrari 458 Speciale Drift Edition. And yeah, let's get into it, shall we? So I thought I would test out some drift vehicles because this new update there are a few new drift events, so we can always test out these vehicles on the new drift events slash tracks. So that's what I thought. That's my meaning behind trying out drift vehicles, because I haven't really tested out many drift vehicles, but we are today with the 458 Speciale. So let's get into the price of this vehicle, shall we? So the price of this vehicle is 1,000,000 28,300 crew bucks and 146,900 crew credits. So this vehicle is very expensive for a drift vehicle, and very expensive in general. Definitely one of the most expensive drift vehicles in the game, behind the Koenigsegg. And to be honest, I can't remember if this is worth it or not, because I haven't used this vehicle in a very long time. So let's just get into the customization of this vehicle, and then we'll see if it's worth it by testing it out. So obviously you can change the colour, the livery if you want to, but don't recommend. The vanity items as well, if you do have any, and the visual parts. So let's have a look at the visual parts. You have 6 hoods to choose from. I mean, they're not all that nice. That's probably why I kept the original one. We have 12 front bumpers to choose from as well. And yes, as you can see, I have put some customization on this vehicle already, but if I do see something I like, I will put it on. Like this, I will put that on. We have 2 front fenders as well to choose from. Okay, a little detail there. There are 48 rims, and obviously caliper color you can change as well. We have 3 side mirrors to choose from. The Italian flag. I'm gonna stick with the carbon. We have 2 skirts as well, with 2 rear fenders to match the front. We have 3 rear wings. I mean, no, just no. I don't know, no. And no. No, not for me. And we also have 8 rear bumpers to choose from as well. Let's see if I like any of... I don't like any of them. To be fair, the customization wasn't the greatest, but I mean, hopefully it's better in an event. So the performance is hopefully much better than the customization of this vehicle. But let's actually put on this base part for this vehicle, so we can actually see what it looks like when you just buy it straight off the market. As you can see, the base level will be a 156 out of 240, so it's not too low, but for what you're paying you are expecting higher. But everyone puts max parts on anyway, unless of course you are new to the game, then that is understandable. But the top speed of this vehicle with the base 156 parts on is around 201 miles per hour, with 605 horsepower as well. So let's put the 240 parts back on. I'm just putting some random 240 parts on as well. As you can see, they're all gold, but I don't have I'm not trying to put on the multiplier boost ones and stuff like that, because I'm just putting random ones on. But with the 240 parts on, the top speed is now 207 miles per hour, with 1,129 horsepower, 0 to 60 in 2.5 seconds, quarter mile in 8.9 seconds, and brake distance 60 to 0 in 22.41 yards. And to be honest, playing a lot of drift events, these stats don't really mean anything, because it just depends on how the vehicle feels and handles on the track. So these stats don't really mean a lot. I mean, maybe the top speed a little bit, but I don't know, if you use drift vehicles a lot and play a lot of drift events in the Crew 2, do you think these stats really mean anything? Because personally, I don't really think they do. Especially the 0 to 60. Like, no one's using the 0 to 60 in a drift event because there's no need. But that is the performance parts on paper. So let's have a look at this vehicle and how it performs on the track. So I'll see you in a second. Right, we are at a new drift event because they're new. We may as well test them out, and why not? But I've only got as far as to completing this event on normal, so we'll have to put up for hard. But that's alright, we're just testing out this vehicle and how it feels anyway. And there's not really, you know, it's not like a street racing event where you are up against other people or other AI, whatever. You're just beating a score, so it's fairly simple. But yeah, I am, you wouldn't know in these videos, but I am genuinely dying. So if I sound ill or something like that, then I am sorry. But one, I have a very sore throat, and two, it is like 30 degrees Celsius where I am, which is very hot for us in the UK. Maybe not for other places in the world, but for us it is very hot, and we are getting demolished by the heat. But it is what it is. But back to the game, and to be fair, this vehicle doesn't feel, maybe that's why I've not used it in a while, is because this vehicle feels really strange. Obviously you can change the handling controls of this vehicle if you want to, but with me, I just like to keep everything as basic as possible, just so you know what you're getting if you just don't change any of the pro settings or anything. But this vehicle feels very lopsided. It feels heavy on the back of the vehicle, but at the front it feels very like nothing. It feels like nothing. The back just feels like it's carrying the weight of the vehicle. I'm not sure why. But I mean, we're drifting and we're going, so it can't be that bad. But I mean, it probably would take a bit of time to proper master this vehicle and to manage how to properly use it. But I mean, we've smashed the points, so there's no need to worry about that. But like I said, look, you don't really need to worry about the stats of the performance because I rarely go over about 120. So the stats really mean nothing. And you're paying this much money for a vehicle to just drift when there are much cheaper options that could be a tiny bit better. Maybe you have to find out when I do them reviews in the future. But back to the Ferrari. I mean, is it worth 1 million? No, 100% no. No drift vehicle is worth 1 million crew bucks. No drift vehicle is worth 500,000 crew bucks. So 1 million is a lot to spend on this vehicle, and it definitely isn't worth it. I mean, customization wise, there might be something there for you, but for me there isn't that much there. But there is still a few options to choose from. And the performance wise, I mean, it's definitely not the greatest drift vehicle I've used, but also not the worst. It feels very average, and obviously, like I said, pro settings can make a difference in drift events and drift vehicles. But I just didn't feel like this vehicle was as good as some other vehicles in the drift racing class. So overall, I'm gonna give this vehicle, sorry to say it, but I'm gonna give this vehicle a 6 out of 10. Just purely, there are so many other better options out there in terms of drift vehicles. I mean, if you have the money, then if you want a nice looking drift vehicle, then sure, it may not be the best performing, but it is a nice looking vehicle that you know, you can use. But it's just not the greatest vehicle on the market, so for that, a 6 out of 10 I will give it. But if you have used this vehicle, don't forget to don't forget to tell me what you think of it down below in the comment section. And while you're down there, don't forget to like and subscribe if you are new, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.